Hello there. Well, you know, there is a whole ecosystem out there on social media platforms such as Facebook, TikTok, and indeed YouTube, putting forward claims that your smart meters are spying on you. You've probably seen these posts yourself. Dramatic claims that smart meters are not just spying on you, but monitoring your heating habits, or even being used to fine older people. Now, these kinds of posts and blogs can really raise concerns and even fear for those of our generation. So let's look at the evidence and see whether any of these claims are based on truth or whether they're just conspiracy theories and scaremongering. Welcome to Grey Matters. Hello there, and welcome to Grey Matters, the channel that promotes the fact that the older generation still matters, still has relevance, and which looks at issues that matter to the older generation. Now, it's quite likely that friends and family acquaintances have warned you off smart meters because they're supposedly part of some national or even global conspiracy to watch and control what you do in your own home. And it's equally likely that you've seen the videos and reels for yourself. There are plenty out there. But is there any truth in these claims? Well, according to many content creators, smart meters are being used to spy on households, track heating habits, impose surge pricing, punish older people for using more heat, and automatically fine people for excessive usage. Now, they're also apparently going to be used to enforce future carbon penalties. And because smart meters are new technology, it's quite easy to see why people are worried.
The new smart meters are watching you. They sense all kinds of goings-on. They see when you turn something on or off. They see how many watts your electric toothbrush pulls. They send the record of that little event over wireless networks, bouncing through your neighbor's smart meter. That data shows when you are at home, shows when you're sleeping, shows when you're on vacation, when you have visitors, when you use a lamp, a power tool.
Also huge privacy concerns with smart meters because they record what you and your family do when you are within your house. How many showers you have and when you are cooking, when you are in, when you are out, and they can also determine exactly what television program you are watching.
And in today's video, I'm going to show you how your electricity usage is being spied on by the cops without your knowledge or your consent, and they don't even need a search warrant.
Energy experts say that with detailed data, it's possible to tell when you're at home, what appliances you're using, even how many people are in the house.
I love that bit about it can tell exactly what TV program you're watching. Apparently that's because every TV program sends out a different electrical signal. Ooh, wouldn't TV licensing love to get hold of that data? I think they'd probably pay a fortune for that, wouldn't they? I mean, some amazing claims there, and some quite similar to each other because that's how they spread. There is, however, one huge bar to the meters being used for these purposes, and there are some reality checks that make a nonsense of some of these claims. Firstly, you'll notice that there are many references online to smart meters being mandatory, and that's your first red flag. If it's in the commentary or you see it in the title, I would suggest you can safely ignore the rest of the content and move on. Smart meters are not and never have been mandatory. Consumers are encouraged to use them, sometimes with financial incentives from your energy provider, but you will never be forced to have one, except if your current meter reaches the end of its life or there's a problem with it. Now, I understand it'll have a sticker on it somewhere with the expiry date on it, and if your meter needs replacing because it's unsafe or unsupported or at the end of its life, then your supplier must install a smart meter. And that's because the government has set a target of 2030 for all domestic properties to have a smart meter. But they can't be forced on you in other circumstances. Also, those in hardship and those who deliberately default on paying their bills will be put on prepayment meters, not smart meters. And whereas prepayment meters can be forced on you, smart meters cannot. However, the biggest bar is down to what smart meters can legally do. And before anyone suggests that the regulations are opaque or unenforceable or red herring, it's important to remember that Ofgem is overseeing the regs, and like all quangos, they love to levy substantial fines against any companies that break the law. So firstly, there is the UK government smart meter legislation, which is primary law under the Smart Meters Act. Now, among other things, it sets out suppliers' obligations. It sets out data rules, vitally important, which makes most of the spying theories redundant, and consumer protections. Now, these are not guidelines, they are law. And secondly, you've got the Ofgem regulations. Now, these are practical rules that suppliers must follow and include how suppliers must behave, what they must tell customers, your consumer rights, and your rights to refuse a smart meter. Thirdly, there's the Smart Metering Equipment Technical Specifications, or SMETS as they're known. Sounds vaguely disgusting. These define what smart meters can and cannot do. They define data security, communication rules, and interoperability. Now that means that smart meters must be compatible with any energy supplier and must stay smart, whichever supplier you move to. Fourthly are the data and privacy regulations, which include what data suppliers can collect, what they cannot collect, how often they can read your meter, and your right to opt out of half-hourly readings, and they also have strict rules preventing monitoring of personal behaviour. Fifth are the tariff regulations, which for the spying issue are quite important because they ensure smart meters do not enable surge pricing, which is illegal in the UK, but they can enable time of use tariffs, which are completely optional, regulated and published for everyone to see. Absolutely not age-based and not automated and not done behind your back. Now, I'm absolutely sure some viewers will say I'm being naive for believing suppliers and meter manufacturers will follow these regulations. But here's the key point. If anyone claims the rules are being broken, they need evidence. And so far, none exists. And without evidence, it all just remains a theory or just plain misinformation. The SMETS 2 specification legally restricts smart meters to recording energy usage only. They cannot monitor behaviour, they can't impose penalties or apply variable pricing without a published tariff. Contrary to popular myths, they can't monitor personal behaviour. They can't detect who's in the home, track heating habits or impose fines. That one, honestly, that one always makes me smile. If you're using a lot of electricity or energy, gas or whatever to heat your home, for example, that's not illegal. The supplier's making money out of you anyway. The only limit to your energy use is your wallet. SMETS 2 also prevents changing tariffs without your consent. They can't shut off appliances, and their claims about surge pricing are a total nonsense because it doesn't exist in the UK domestic energy supplies. It's simply not a feature that suppliers are allowed to use. Smart meters can't target older people either. That's another claim. I mean, it makes me laugh. There's no way a smart meter can determine the ages of people living in a house. They don't have microphones, they don't listen into conversation and analyse the ages. And there's no requirement for the energy companies to find out how old their customers are. The only conceivable way will be if you're signed up to their priority services register, as we are. And even that doesn't necessarily mean you're old. You could be young and on dialysis. The register is there to help people, not to target them. So the claim that meters target people by age is just totally ridiculous. Quite simply, they can't spy on you. And why can't they do all these things? Because the SMETS are technical specifications that the manufacturers have to follow. They can't deviate from the specs. They can't add modules that aren't in them. And also, during the manufacturing, meters are randomly examined and tested. And if they're found to contain illegal technology, the manufacturer would face massive financial penalties. And this is similar as to how priorities meet British standards. Compliance isn't optional. And these stories and myths spread because they're alarmist and they encourage people to click on them, spreading their reach even further, and ultimately, of course, making money for their creators if their channels are monetized. The truth is that smart meters measure energy, nothing more. So I hope that has allayed any concerns you might have. If you've heard of any other claims about smart meters, then please do leave a comment. So that's it for now. If you like this video, please give it a big fat thumbs up and subscribe. And you can also become a channel member. The button is below the video, and there are 2 physical perks that aren't shown when you join up, but full details in the description. And of course, for the first 7 days of this video coming to your screens, you can hype it by hitting the hype button, and that helps the channel grow too. Thank you for joining us once again, and we love having you come and visit. Until the next time here in Grey Meters. Grey Meters? There's a Freudian slip. Grey Matters. I'm going to check my meter is still working. Bye for now.